Alright, let me just show the hands here. Show the deal-in tile. Oh, no deal-in tiles yet. That's a shame. Alright, it's just me for now. We'll see if Ennui shows up. This game started a little bit early, so maybe Ennui will join us in a few minutes. Alright, let's see what's going on here. It looks like Yuki has a pretty nice hand. The Dora is the south, mostly gone. Okay, what does Cynthia got going over there? Nice shapes and pin tiles. Pretty nice. But actually, looking at him, yeah, it's alright. 3, 4, 5. Like, oh, that was a good draw there, wasn't it? It's probably one away now. And waiting on the Champagne White there. It's the Ricci only hand. Not a big deal. Oh, and is Yuki gonna deal in? No. Yuki is maybe just folding. Well, I guess he can still push here, so maybe he'll drop that 9-pin pretty soon. Actually, that won't be a big deal unless those nines turn out to be Ura or something. That could be the case. We only see two 8-pin, so maybe that 9 will turn out to be Ura, or the 8-mon could be Ura. Is that a possibility? I see probably not. I see a few 7-mon, so probably that 8-mon is not going to be Ura. So this is just going to be a tiny hand. Yuki's still not dealing in. Hoping to draw an 8-pin. But I expect that likely he'll drop. Maybe he'll drop this right now. No, keeping it. Keeping that 9-pin stuck in there. Suspicious of the pin tiles. Possibly. And I'm actually not looking at has Don Lapa been pushing? Putting down that 8-mon, that 8 so is safe. Just putting down the 9, which is safe. Yeah, Ledge is probably not pursuing this hand, I would assume. But if anyone, yeah, Yuki Yuki really being dealt the deal-in tiles here. They still not dealing in. Playing very carefully here. And there's that other 8, yeah. Probably the 9-pin, not going to be a double Ura there. I've got this cat harassing me a little bit here. Yeah, probably this is just going to go to exhaustive unless Yuki decides to deal in right now, and yeah, I didn't think he would. Really holding on to those tiles that barely fit into his hand at all. They're really suspicious of those, I think. Noting what Cynthia has in her discards there and seeing like what looks dangerous and what doesn't. But it says Champagne Way, so it's pretty hard to see. So, oh, is he going to deal in right now? Taking the opportunity to deal in. Waiting on that 7-mon. He's deciding, is he going to drop that 9-pin or not? No, he doesn't. Okay. I wonder what that call was about. Maybe he just called that like having not yet decided that whether he's going to drop that 9-pin or not. Right, and Don Lapa starting out with a bunch of dragon titles, but Yuki having two of the Haku. Don Lapa still could get a show song in there. Dropping the 9-pin, holding on to all those dragons. Haku and Hatsu.
Pong.
And opening up right away. Maybe thinking of a Honitsu? Or just Yakuhai only, I guess. Maybe hoping to get at least one of those two besides the Chun. Could be what Don Lap is thinking. Or just getting a few points. And the Dora does fit into that hand, so could add in a Dora on top of there and maybe get just 2 or 3 Han. Cynthia having a nice looking hand, going for Going for Cheetoy, it looks like. See if she ends up. Oh, and just drew another one there. Is that actually? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's just 5. That looked like it was 6 to me because of that 2, 3 there. But yeah, it looks like that's. Gonna keep that west note. Get rid of the west. Could have. Oh, opening up. Going for Toy Toy. Yeah, I would. If it was me, I think that I would stick with Cheetoy and even consider it can become a regular hand with that 2, 3, 4 in there. Oh, this actually maybe going for Tanyao. Tanyao is another possibility. Just a simple simples hand. And Legia's hand advancing smoothly towards Pinku. I kind of doubt it's gonna get there, but could get a couple good draws and just move into Tenpai Ricci. It's really hard to fight against these open hands with both Donlapa and Yuki being an Ishan 10, right? Or is Donlapa actually in Tenpai waiting on the 7? So yeah. Yuki is collecting all of them. And Yuki and Tenpai waiting on the 6, 9, right? Yeah. Oh, I've got someone calling me. That might be. Oh no, wait, hold on. I. Hello.
Hello?
Oh, I started without you.
I was like, hello? I can't.
I started without you.
Oh shit. Okay, there we go. I'm sorry. I needed to mute my video.
Okay, I'm glad that wasn't on my side. Okay, are you watching the tournament right now?
Yes, I'm watching it on the Twitch stream.
Oh, okay. So you'll be a little bit behind me, I think.
Yes, which is fine. I can watch the chat that way as well.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I figured you may be a bit late because this started a little bit early. I think they thought that it started at 1800 when it was supposed to start at 1830. But it's actually kind of good because we had that little kerfuffle with the rules. But, yeah. So nothing too interesting happening so far. I actually missed the end of that hand. I don't know what happened. Well, let's see. I guess Yuki won.
Yeah, Yuki roamed somebody. Yuki roams Dunlapa.
Oh yeah. Okay. Just tiny roan there. Yeah, that was kind of just a bunch of people, a bunch of tiny hands. That last hand there. Was somebody already in Tenpai? What is this? Thing on the 2-5. That's Legis. Right, 1, 2, 3, 5, 5, 5, 6, 6. And just reach it. Okay. Just delaying a turn and then doing a Rishi there. Waiting on the 2-5 for Rishi only hand with a triple in there.
Yeah, and they may have delayed longer, but they happened to draw a tile they already had in their hand, so they were able to do to call Ricci without also doing Sumo Giri. So.
Oh right, yeah. That may be the case. Although it's still it's Ricci on tile 4, so I'm not sure if that's the case. There's not only so long they could have delayed there, but I mean that would be a smart thing to do. Well, I'm not sure if that's a smart thing to do. It's a smart thing to be thinking about. I think probably you should just reach you earlier in that situation.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's not really a clear way for that hand to gain value. You
Yeah.
can't integrate a Dora into your hands. You're not going to get Sanshoku. And I guess if you drew the 1 pin, you could discard the 4 and wait on the 2 for Sanshoku. I guess that would be the only way to increase your value. But
I could see it getting to Pinfu with the 5, 6, 5, 5. Using the 5s as the pair instead of the 6s as the pair could potentially happen. But yeah, I certainly wouldn't depend on that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. If you drew I guess the problem is you'd be 2 away because you draw a 7 mod, right? And then you discard a 6. No, and then you'd be good. So that would be a one step move, drawing the 7 or the 4. Oh, and they discarded 5.
Oh, 3 Ura. Oh my god. What was that? The Ura. It's on the form. Okay. Wow. Well, what can you do?
Yeah, I
All
mean
right.
that's
Oh, and look at this.
the five peen wasn't a great discard, but I mean just bad luck there. It should have been Ricci only.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, this is something. I wonder, is Lee just gonna go for a Honitsu here, or just whatever? I think just whatever would be fine.
Yes, I see absolute this while this hand looks good for Honitsu just
Mhm.
in pure volume of tiles,
Yeah.
it's not actually a hand that strikes me as a good
Hmm.
Honitsu hand because
Hmm.
all of the tiles you need to create more shapes, you
Hmm.
already have. Like the
Right.
6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8 is hard to grow.
Right. Although, I mean, that being the case, I think that it's good to be flexible if you can. Like in this case, just happen to be able to move into this hand without sacrificing efficiency.
No,
May as well.
efficiency was 100% sacrificed. That discarding the 3 mon
Hmm.
was not an efficient move. Like
Mm.
I would have discarded the east before discarding the 3 mon for sure. Like
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's certainly the case that you could keep the threes, but I don't think they help you that much. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, you can't say that efficiency wasn't sacrificed. I'm misspeaking there, but I don't feel like Lee just is making a bad move by going for Honitsu, given the specific draws that he got and the calls that he was able to make and so on.
yes, I don't think it's a bad move, but it's not the efficient move, I guess.
Right.
Is the only thing I really wanted to say.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, definitely like moves it up to a like a Hanemon hand instead of a Mongon, so it's kind of worth like the fact that you might draw a backfire Formon or something like. It's not that big of a deal to risk that.
Yeah, but this is something that in general I would
Mm-hmm.
like to point out about Honitsu because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
Yeah.
people view Honitsu as being an open way to get to Han.
Mm-hmm.
They people really like Honitsu because of that, and
Yeah, I think especially when you see a shape like what it started out with. What was it like 5 5 5 6 6 7 7?
it
That.
was 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8.
Oh, and looks like we're gonna. Oh no, he stays with the Shampoo weight instead of the 3 6. Already has two of the sixes, so I guess that makes sense. But I don't know. Probably the 3 6 is better still. Um, maybe didn't want to wait on the Dora, thinking it won't come out. Either way, probably about similar weights, probably.
Mhm. Well, I mean, this does give the possibility of a Baiman.
Right.
Winning on the 6 peen would be a Baiman. Winning on the 5 peen would be
Mm-hmm.
one Han short.
Sure, but I think that what I would think is that when you have a hand that has this much value, really the weight kind of trumps everything in
100%.
comparison to like raising from a Hanuman to a Baimon is great, but you really want to win above everything.
Yeah, which is why I would have not gone to Honitsu,
Mm-hmm.
kept, Red Dragons, Dora 2,
Mm-hmm.
would already be done with the hand at this point and won. Instead of being in the middle of the third row, giving other people a chance to get into Tempai.
Right. Oh, and actually, Cynthia is in. I think Cynthia is in Yakula's Tenpai.
And
Actually.
Yuki has a Yaku full Tempai
Oh,
uh, with the white dragons and one Dora.
right. He has just a tiny hand trying to kill Letus's hand here. Maybe we'll succeed if that 7 pin comes out. Well, there's only one left, isn't there? So that's not too likely. There's none left. It's dead. Yeah, Yuki. Maybe Yuki might drop that. I doubt Yuki will drop that 6. That'd be a little crazy. Um, I was just thinking like maybe Yuki will end up dropping that to get a better weight at some point, but I think he'd fold before doing that.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Especially seeing the obvious Honitsu.
Oh my god, these draws 3 4 3 4 pin. That's brutal backfires right there.
Yeah. I
Oh
mean, but
well.
that is why it's important to play efficiency. Like
Yeah.
that Hanuman, even with taking the Honitsu,
Hmm.
which was an inefficient decision,
Hmm.
making making one inefficient decision is okay
Hmm.
because it was so early, you were able to call.
Right.
and you still were going to get 18,000 points.
Yeah.
um, but
Right.
two inefficient decisions was too many.
Right. And it may not have been it may not have been greeting for value. It may have been like I was saying, not wanting to wait on the Dora and feeling like maybe the 5/6 was a better weight. Or hold on a second. What am I saying? Hold on.
Yeah, because the truth is the opposite of what you just said. They
Right.
chose to put on the Dora.
Oh, you're right. It would have been a 4/7 weight. Is that what it would have been?
Yes,
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I was for some reason I thought it was a 3/6. Yeah, 4/7 would have been way better, wouldn't it?
way better.
Yeah, I was thinking that the weight that they were switching to would have been missing a bunch of tiles, but it wasn't missing any. And yeah, they drew a bunch of fours. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, that is pretty brutal. A brutal backfire on that. Not changing the weight. But yeah, I mean, it could have easily gone the other way too. So it's just like it's just a neat little demonstration of choosing the inefficient weight really
I
hurting.
mean, yeah. Although I guess to be a little fair, it was not a like since they had called the sevens, it was
Mm-hmm.
not an open Rhiannon. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were effectively only winning on the 4,
Oh,
but
right,
like,
right.
that weight also itself could have been improved. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
a lot more sideways movement possible. This hand I think was a very we didn't talk about it because we were still kind of lingering on the last hand, but Legius had the double easts and had an opportunity to call the double easts after
Mm-hmm.
the reach and did not take it,
Right,
uh, which I think is kind of interesting.
right. I guess may have been thinking that it's bad to call if you're not calling into Ishan 10. Was that a call into Ishan 10?
It would not have been, no.
Right. So that does seem kind of reasonable because that would be calling the double east for just the double east basically. That's not very good. Um, you want something in addition to that, and
And
also
then
being two Shanten.
yeah, and Uena, of course, picking up the three-sided weight, as happens when you have a three-sided weight.
Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah. Just just easily win. Was that the Tsumo? I kind of missed it.
It was a sumo, yes.
Right, that's kind of what you expect when you reach you on a three-sided weight. Probably just Sumo. And then what's
Yeah,
good?
and
So.
Uena's hand here. I
Mm-hmm,
mean, again, we see someone starting out with
mm-hmm,
two Dora 6 peen. Uena choosing to toss the Tuso,
mm-hmm.
which is kind of an obviously inefficient choice.
Right. With having the 2/3 and opting for, I'm not sure what the idea is there, because I would be thinking if anything you could go simples with this hand. Maybe open on the Dora if it gets
Yeah,
tapped early. But yeah, so keep that. I guess. I mean, that could be thinking that could be an early move towards simples. But it's a little bit premature to be dropping the two, not wanting to end up with like a 1, 2, 3 when you already got a 9.
yeah, especially yeah when you have, as you said, the 9 that can be discarded. That whole pinchon can be discarded.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were moving towards simples, you would have absolutely taken the pawn on the 5 mon there.
Right. Oh, and they're getting the 4. This would be I don't think that it would be in Tempai yet, but it'd be definitely be closer.
With the pawn on the fives,
Mm-hmm.
with a pawn on the fives and the two so still in hand, it would be Tenpai.
Right, right, right.
But that's a lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah. Despite that, this is a nice Ishan 10 we've got here. And um and a lot of value. So Cynthia could potentially go into the lead here. Yuki's hand is looking very advanced as well, so I wouldn't be
Yu-
surprised. Hold on.
Yuki is Ishanten, but it's kind of an awkward Ishanten with the 4 4 5 5. So
Right. Sort of depending on, so it could end up with either a champon or needs to specifically draw the 3 or the 6. So kind of like the same as having as like a Asian 10 that relies on Kanchan weights or something.
but is a little bit better value-wise because drawing the 3 or the 6 would give an opportunity for Ipeco.
Right, and also Pinfu. And symbols, right? Is there any? Yeah. So that's a Mintampion with Dora. Oh no, there's a 9 in there. Yeah, what's wrong? But went into Dama there. That's interesting. I feel like that's an obvious time to go for a Ricci, especially in this tournament setting where you really want to be greedy for points.
Yeah, I mean, because a Ricci, I mean, that's worth 4,000 points basically.
Yeah. I wonder if Yuki may have like for some reason or another just wanted to delay there, and was planning to Ricci in a second.
Or didn't think the 3. I think it's possible Yuki didn't expect the 3 or the 6 to come out if he Ricci'd. But
Right.
I kind of doubt that would be the case. I don't think Yuki is going to see much in the way of aggressive defense or war criminal-esque defense, as you might
Right.
call it.
Yeah,
From
as it's known, as it's commonly known. Cynthia's hand looking very nice over here. Also, Don Lapa having 2 triples to start with, so we'll see. The acceptance on Don Lapa's hand is kind of bad though, but we'll just see.
But having started with the Haku here, I mean, can accept whatever calls advance the hand, which is
Right.
always a good position to be in.
Yeah, although, yeah, it does just kill all the value, and that's the thing about having a triple of Haku and a triple of Tumon, is that if you can get up to like 2 or 3 Han, then you've got a lot of Fu already, and as dealer, you can actually get some significant value with a Ricci.
And 3 of the 4 players just kind of holding on to a single Dora Chun here.
Yeah, that's
In
that's
in obstinance that I do not approve of, but
yeah, they're like, yeah, that's. I feel like that's kind of a bad thing to do, because when you're looking at these logs, you can see, or these whatever you call them, these live plays, somewhat live plays. You see this dynamic happen where like a bunch of people or 2 people have one of the Dora Yakuhai tile, and then they keep on waiting the whole game, and then one of the 2 draws another one, and then the other person drops it, and then they pawn. So like you can avoid that just by dropping it early. Gonna take the Ricci here on the 5, so going into Dama. Good cap.
yeah, because Legius just Ricci'd, was Legius was Dama, with Tanyao and a Shanpon weight, but upgraded to a Pinfu Ipeco when they drew the 9-mon, and Don Lapa ends up getting the Kanchan
Yeah.
5S.
Yeah, and we saw that was worth 2,400 points for a 1 Han hand. So that's what the Fu as a dealer can get for you. Just imagine if that was even 1 more Han, would have been pretty significant win. Oh, and this hand looking pretty nice with all these honors. I can vaguely see this becoming Honitsu, maybe, or Janta or something.
Man, you've been playing too much Sanma.
Well, it doesn't actually. So suppose that Don Lapa calls all of these, then that's already close to Honitsu. So one more pin tile, calling all of these. It's happening.
It's happening right. We are watching it happen. Here comes the left.
Suppose Don Lapa draws a 4 pin and calls the Hatsu. Then perfect weight, 1/4, 1/4 weight.
I mean, I would be thinking Chanta here.
Well, that 8 pin could have been a single weight. Would have been perfectly fine to drop the 1-mon, wait for the Hatsu to come out, wait on the 8 pin.
So actually, I would have done something slightly different. I would have kept the 8 pin and the 1-mon and dropped the 4-mon.
Oh yeah, that's a good point too, because you can get Chanta that way. Yeah.
So you can just kind of whichever it keeps you again, like you were talking about earlier, it's very important to have flexibility
Yeah.
and keeping that flexibility between one extra Han or two extra Han,
Yeah.
I think would have been nice.
Right. So that's a so yeah, that's a I mean, I feel like it could go either way though. You could keep the 4 because you think you might draw the 5 or the 3, I guess. If you want to limit your if you want to focus on efficiency on one hand and on value on the other, or something like that.
No, I think that's totally reasonable.
Yeah, this cat is just harassing me. But yeah, we'll see if this becomes well, we're kind of assuming Dunlap will win this hand, or at least I am.
Well, I mean, everyone else's hands look kind of like garbage right now. Yuki's
mm,
the only person with, I think,
mm,
a competitive hand, really.
right.
Legis' hand looks like it could be good, but it's
Mm,
still far away from Tenpai.
mm.
And Yuina, obviously, not obviously, Yuina, honestly, her hand's like closer to Kokoshi than anything else. Like,
Well,
it
it's
is a
not.
hot mess.
Well, if she gets that chun, it won't be that far. Just need be one away at that point, right? But
With
yeah, still.
with the tune, yeah.
And I assume the chun has got to come out soon. It's got to come out someday. Maybe not. Yeah, Don Lappa is just not getting where's the one of the Hatsus in the wall, I guess. Probably. Could this is Tenpai. Didn't come now? Yep. Can you wait on that too, Mom? May as well take that Tenpai. No reason not to, really.
Yeah, again, people holding on to honors for kind of inexplicable reasons. Like
Mm-hmm.
Legis is in a position now where discarding the Hatsu
Mm-hmm.
or the South, like they can't really
Yeah.
do it. How dangerous it is, which ruins a hand that could have a ton of value.
And I wonder if the idea for doing that may be to have safe tiles, which can be a bit of a if you're keeping safe tiles but none of the other ones are ever discarded, then it becomes the opposite. So
Right. I mean, they are hella unsafe.
yeah. Oh, and yeah, Yuki actually ended up winning. Okay, just Don Lappa just didn't get anything. That Hatsu just never comes out. Oh well, I mean, I kind of would expect. I would not expect if I have 3 pairs of honors to get all of them. I would feel lucky if I did. Oh, and look at all of these. Look at this Kokushi hand. Uh, it's just tragically short of Kokushi. Oh, I need
eight tiles. Let's switch behind Yuki though.
Yeah,
It's
I
Yuki's
just
time
did.
to shine.
Oh, and Yuki going for Chitoi here with Dora as dealer. So yeah, I expect we may see a Dama here. The thing about Dama with Chitoi is that it falls so significantly short of Suanko. It falls short of Mangan significantly, so you kind of have a bit more reason to.
Well, not here.
Well, it would still fall short of dealer Mangan.
I mean, it would fall a little short, but not like.
Wait, so what is the 25 fu forehand score for dealer? I actually don't know.
For
For
dealer?
dealer.
Oh boy. So it would be 6,400 if you were not dealer, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So we just need to multiply that by 1.5.
Oh yeah, so it's like
9,600.
yeah, 9,600.
Yeah, which is a pretty healthy score.
Yeah.
I like reaching for an extra 2.4K. I don't know if that's worth it. Like,
right. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I think it kind of depends. Like, if the thing you're waiting on is some random honor tile, it may be worth reaching just because the reaching might even make it more likely to come out. Someone may drop it. Thinking it's safe. Oh, we got Ipeco
and
up there.
Yuki had abandoned the Chi toy, going for a more normal hand, going for Tanyao. But couldn't keep up with the other hands at the table.
Yeah, I mean Yuki Doesn't trust Chitoy.
Rightfully so.
I disagree. I think you should always trust Chitoy. It always comes to you. It always results in a
Yuki
win.
Yuki doesn't trust Chitoy, and Yuki's experiences in Jade Room have really pushed him to like Yuki Dama's a lot. Like I feel like I Dama a lot, and Yuki Dama's more than I do.
And yeah, he did Dama on that like hand that seemed like an obvious Richi, a 3-Han hand with the Yanmen weight. Yeah, that is some serious Dama action going on there, and that was a nice draw there. Very close, Yuki, very close to just a regular Pinpu hand. Actually, still 2 away, I guess. It still has some Kanchan shapes in there. I don't know what I'm talking about.
You're just mystified by all of Yuki's hands.
Yeah.
They're just so attractive to see.
Oh, and Cynthia drawing a third 7-mon there, and I don't know, like going for Honitsu, I guess. Pretty far from Honitsu.
Yeah, I mean, pretty far from everything,
Yeah,
honestly. Might as well go for something.
yeah. May as well go for Chitoi, Honitsu, Kokushi, or whatever.
But we are now something to consider is that we are definitely in the portion of the game where you're really focused on points here. Like
Right. Yeah,
it's
South 3.
South 3, everybody's close. Like
Mhm.
this is still anybody's game. If you're Dunlapa, you've gotta work for value. If you're
Mhm.
Legius, you don't care what you win as long as you win. Any dealer win at all is going to be huge.
Yeah, Cynthia just got a really nice draw there, but still so far away from anything. Sub
And
goes.
I'm actually gonna make sure that I get the scores up on another screen so that we can kind of.
Oh yeah, that would be good to get an idea of what's going on. I'm pretty sure like Yuki and yeah, I actually forget what kind of score Yuki has. Leech is just getting a great draw here, I think. Well,
So
actually, that's not too good. He just drops it. I thought it was good at first glance. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I was going to give a. I'm responding to Yuki in Discord real quick.
Okay.
Um, and now I'm going to go back to what I was doing, which is I was going to give everybody here a rundown on the scores. Although maybe for right now we'll focus on the commentary, and I will give a rundown on the scores after the first match.
Sure. Yeah, we're almost to the end here. Yuki just did a Richi on this Pinpu hand with Dora.
Wait, Yuki, you can't Dama if you call Ricci.
Oh, got the Ipatsu. Oh, that's too bad for Legis.
リーチ一発ニャンプドラ猫
Yeah. Pseudo Mangan. That yeah, that's a nice win for Yuki coming into first place there in South 4. Uh, so likely we'll take the win this game, and that's too bad for Legis dealing into that Ipatsu. That's gotta hurt. Oh, Don Lapa starting out with a bunch of pairs over there. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we'll go for Chitoi. Yuki having not too much of anything over there. Peaches' hand seems like it has a pretty good shape to it. Yeah, the 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. And that's about it. A pair up there. So, I mean, yeah, that draw was very good. So Leech's hand is actually shaping up pretty nicely. I expect Legis will take this. Has a very solid advantage here at the start. Uh, Yuki just got a good draw, though. Actually, Yuki must have gotten a few good draws because that hand is looking pretty nice now. And now Yuki, I think, has the advantage. Just a second ago, I was saying his hand looks like garbage, and after like 2 draws, it suddenly looks great. That's Mahjong for you.
Mahjong really be a jerk like that sometimes.
but but Lee just also is like he's got 2 complete sequences and a pair, so basically like he's extremely close. Oh, and Don Lapa did a Ricci. He started out with a bunch of pairs, and now he's in Ricci on a regular hand. Yeah, it's kind of a weird hand. Developing.
It's a hand with not much value. Unless Don Lapa gets a direct hit on
Mm-hmm.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who Dunlapa hits. Nothing's going to change.
Yeah, unless Urasan on the east.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have to be the north. How many north do we see? I think we
Two.
see. Oh,
We
there's
see
a
all
bunch.
4.
Oh
They're
well.
all out.
Oh well. Not gonna be Urasan. Maybe there could still be 2. Could still get 2.
But 2's not enough. And
Well,
hits the wrong person anyway.
Anything is helpful. Like
this is true. Since overall points are important.
And yeah.
So to give kind of an update on where people were before this game.
Mm-hmm.
Before this game, Yuki was 5th, ranked 5th in the low 20s of points. Who else? Legius was ranked 9th, so was first out of semis.
Right.
With with like a low negative number, like -10 or something like that.
Right.
And then Dunlapa was 10th.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the second out. So Dunlapa and Legius very much in the running to get into semis.
Right.
But this was the last thing they needed. They came in 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, they need to do really well in these next 2 matches. Well, they don't need to do really well, but if they do better than average, like get 1 first and 1 second or something like that, that should be enough, I think, to make it into the. Well, maybe it'd be harder for Legis.
That would have been enough, but now not so much. Now out of the 3 of them, Yuina has the highest score. She was 14th out of 16 before that first game. But even that second place was enough to bump her up some. So going in now, I'm gonna resort the scores here. So going in now, Yuki has like really cemented himself up, has 50 points.
Right.
So basically needs 2 fourths to get knocked out at this point.
Right.
Which is totally possible, but unlikely.
Yeah.
Yuina is now, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yuina is now first out, but is first out with -24 points.
Oh wow.
So the gap between 9th place and 8th place is currently 29.8 points.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I guess. But still, like, if Dunlapa or Legis, if either one of them gets a big win, like a 50K win or something, that would probably put them in, wouldn't it?
A 50K win would not be enough to get them into semis. But any first place would put them within striking distance. So right now, 8th place has 5 points. Yuina has -24-ish. Dunlapa has -37, and Legius has -42.
Right. Well, hold on. So a 50K win would be like 35 points, wouldn't it?
Would be 35 points.
All right. So wouldn't that be enough for Dunlapa then? What was his score again? I'm sorry.
-37. So Dunlapa would still be negative.
Right, but he would be above 8th place, wouldn't he?
No, would be above. No, 8th place has 5 points.
Oh, I thought you said -5. Okay, I'm a dummy. Okay, I got it. We're on the same page. Okay, so yeah, they need like a 55K, or Dunlapa needs like a 60K win to be enough.
Right, it'd be much more reasonable to get a normal first and a normal second.
Yeah. That would make sense. Although, yeah, a normal second. Probably a good second, I think, because a normal second would be worth like 10 points, something like that. That'd be a second with 35K would be worth 10 points, wouldn't it?
Yes, 35K would be worth 10 points.
So I would think of that as being a pretty high second, because I feel like second place usually doesn't have a score that high.
Well, but again, remember, this isn't ranked. We're starting with 30K. So that would be like having 30K in second, which I think is pretty normal.
Maybe I tend to think of it as being maybe that just says something about the games that I play, that I think of it as being lower. But yeah, Donlapa here having a nice hand. Can open on the chun. Maybe just get a quick hand here as dealer. Let me see.
Has a couple of easily upgraded Conchons, although the 7/9 Conchon of Peen probably won't get upgraded since it involves the Dora.
Yeah, and could easily like call the 8 there. Get an extra.
Ligius has an interesting hand. The 1/2/2/3, the Nakabukure.
Yeah.
In Mon. The
Garbage.
least happy one to have. It's a garbage Nakabukure, but it's still a Nakabukure. It's still something you can play with, and the rest of their shapes are, plenty pleasant. So
yeah. This hand looks very fast. Oh, and that was an excellent draw there. Giving me 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, I kind of expect Lee just has the advantage here. But whenever I say that, instantly someone else draws like the 3 tiles they need and it's Ricci. So we'll see. Yeah, because and here like if Donlapa draws the 8 pin, like so, that changes everything. So like a single draw makes so much difference. And yeah, keeping the dropping the 4 there. Would you drop like maybe the 6/8 there instead of the 4?
I absolutely would have dropped the 6/8. So 100%.
Okay.
Because I would want to keep the tune
Mm-hmm.
as a way to open the hand.
Mm-hmm. And you're thinking, well, you're counting shapes, and you're seeing there's 6 blocks, so you want to drop the weakest ones. You look at the 6/8, and you keep the 3/4/4.
Absolutely. And the 7/9, like the 7/9 is a weaker shape than the 6/8, but since it
Right.
includes that Dora,
Mm-hmm.
especially since you're considering opening your hand,
Right.
you really want that one extra Hana value.
Right. So that doesn't even really come into consideration.
Yuina's hand is fascinating. We see that the tunes are locked. We've got 2 tunes locked into Donlapa's hand and 2 tunes locked into Yuina's hand. And Yuina is Ishanten for pure straight. What's that? Itsu?
I don't think that's gonna come to happen though. Maybe it will. Maybe we'll just get the 3 mon. But don't let the Ricci's on this nice Champon weight. Although it's actually not that nice of a weight given our point of view. But we know that Cynthia has 2 of those chun.
Yeah, and one of the 3s. So there is only, and I do not expect Yuina to discard the 3 peen or either of those tunes.
Right.
I expect her to push this hand, to push for that pure straight in Mon, which means that Dunlapa has exactly 1 tile in the wall that they can come off of.
And is this a Tenpai here? 3, 3, 4, 4. No, it's not. But
Yuina,
still.
Oh, didn't want to discard the Dora into the Ricci. I think that's very reasonable.
Yeah. And I wonder if people here may push, feeling like the Dora being the 9 pin makes it a bit less scary to push against a Ricci like this, especially without there being any red 5s. It kind of limits the possible value or the likely value of it.
Yeah, although the lack of peen in Dunlapa's discard is kind of troublesome.
Yeah. might think that there's like a pair of Dora in there that's working as his pair, or even a triple. You gotta be worried about that. And with that, that 8 came after the Ricci. If that 8 came before the Ricci, you might think it came out of like an 8/9/9. Oh, and
Yuina just magically drew into Chitoy. Like that was absurd. Just every draw, like 4 or 5 tiles in a row, took Yuina straight to Chitoy. And so now there are 2 people waiting on that final 3-peen, and it was in the dead wall.
Yeah, we could have seen a double run there. Are we using
asterisk double run? Yuina's had Chitoy and 2 Dora and then Ricci. I mean, that's a Mangan. And then the dealer is never fun to get hit by.
Right, and okay, Cynthia's hand is kind of has a lot of variety in there. Could go for Kokishi, probably won't. And Yuki's got some nice shapes. And Donmappa, yeah, we'll just see how these hands develop.
A lot of honors starting out in the non-dealer hands, which I think is a pretty huge benefit to Don
Right.
Lappa. Yuki is doing something that I think is fairly reasonable when you have a guest wind, which is going Atazuki. So Atazuki means to kind of go for a hand where you are only able to win on some of your weights, not all. So
Right.
Yuki headed towards a hand here that would only be able to win on the north, but
Right.
those north once again are locked in Yuina's hands.
Unless it becomes Chanta or something. Only 3 away from that.
Yeah, only 3 would only have to discard the 4, 5, 6 mon.
Yeah, Yuki seems pretty unlikely to get those Norse, unfortunately. But I mean, can still get into Tempai for exhaustive if nothing else. I'm throwing away that 7.
Yeah, I think if you're Yuki here, you do, since the Norths have not come out yet. Even with one Haku already in the pond, I would hold on to the Haku as well,
Right.
because it's a possible Yaku that you need.
Right.
Boom.
Oh, who is
Luigi is in Tempai, waiting on the 4 and 7. So
right, has a so basically this is just a Yakubai Dora hand.
and Yuki's gonna deal into it.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of those small hands here. Lee just needs to at least just keep sucking up those points. And I think Yuki doesn't have too much to worry about score-wise, but definitely doesn't want to come in fourth. What is the... So fourth is minus 15, right, at the base?
Yep.
So if Yuki got fourth with like 25k or something, that would be minus 20 points. That actually wouldn't be that big of a deal for him.
No, it would not. But the problem is, so this is where there's a certain unfairness to fourth versus first, where it is very easy to get a fourth where you are the person taking all the hits.
Right.
It is very hard to get a first where you are the person gaining all the points. So
Right.
normally first might be, without Uma plus 10, like plus 10, plus 15.
Right.
You can, that wouldn't be too weird of a first to have.
Right.
Whereas last, it is very easy to have a last that is minus 20 without Uma.
Right.
So a minus 35 last place would be pretty on par with a lot of the last place we've seen in this tournament.
Yeah. That's the rub. That's kind of like in the last tournament we had a bonus of 1 point for Kokshi for any Yakuman. And we also had a bonus of 1 point for getting a 60k plus score. And there's a little bit of synergy there. You often may end up getting a score of 5 for a first place because you get +1 for 60k, +1 for the Kokshi. Kind of a similar dynamic at play there.
I wonder if there's a way for me to. I wish in this tournament, in the player statistics part of the tournament, I could look at just like the average number of points for the player in last. That I'd have to do it by hand, I think, which would be a little bit too much work, but.
Right. Yeah. I wonder if there's a way to access those just in the form of text files or something.
Yeah, you can. Well, no, you can export them as logs. I don't know. Yeah, we would have to play around with that a little bit. But that might be interesting. Just looking at, if I just eyeballing the results here, it looks like the average. It looks like the average last place in this tournament has been just under. I mean, there's a couple of outliers. Like there's a minus 64, there's a minus 57.5. It looks like for the most part, last places tend to be in the high 20s.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. Because you'd think they might be a bit lower than that. That actually doesn't hurt that bad to get a last place in the high 20s.
I think that is the mode and maybe the median. The
Mhm.
average is definitely skewed.
Mhm.
This is definitely a data set that would be skewed to the right with
Right.
some very big numbers on the opposite side of that.
Yeah, and yeah, that's something that I definitely could look into. If just take those files and read them in and represent the data in programming stuff.
Yeah, so Don Lappa just had a very interesting decision here.
Mhm.
Got the 2 mon,
Uh-huh.
so now has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mon.
Right.
Right? So you might be thinking a good 3-sided pair weight, but already had 2 pairs,
Mhm.
so discarded the 1 peen.
Mhm.
If they're thinking of upgrading to a pure straight, I mean, the 1 and the 9 mon are already in their discards. On top of
Right.
that, all 4 1 mon are already discarded, actually. So it's not
Yeah.
even possible.
I would be thinking at this point just getting into Tempai probably. Um,
What would have been better was Ishanten and
mhm.
is no longer Ishanten. So
Oh, right. 2, 3, 4.
moved away from Tempai with that move.
Yeah, it can be easy to make mistakes like that.
And which is really sad because just flipped a bunch of Dora. That
Oh,
that
yeah.
con that Uina called hit the pair there.
Oh, don't deal in. This is not the time to deal in. Donlapa is thinking carefully here. Okay, dropping the 5 pin.
Uina has a Yakula's hand. I mean that 6 so doesn't
Oh,
actually deal in.
right. Yeah, it's open on the west there.
Legis was also Tempai, but also Yakulas. So everyone who was Tempai was Yakulas.
Or they're just messing with us, the commenters, seeing all these pink tiles, making us think.
They're actively trying to disrupt our game.
And what is you and a half here? It looks like got 1, 2. Oh, got a 5 mon triple, pair of 2 mon, pair of 9, pair of 6s, but also like nice shapes, sort of, kind of.
Nice saves, sort of. No, I think this is a hand that I would be perfectly happy to start with. I mean, it's Ishanten.
Yeah. If
It's not a
just
great Ishanten, but it's
yeah,
a hell of a lot of value.
right.
I think I honestly would have been tempted to toss the 8-9 mon after drawing the 4 peen.
Yeah, it's kind of that Penchan is so bad. Like it feels like you're eventually going to toss it anyway. So maybe you should just keep a tile that's worth something.
I am not typically one to promote moving back in
Mhm.
Shanten, but
Right.
I mean on turn if there's ever a turn to move backwards in Shanten,
Yeah.
it's turn 3.
Yeah. Just opening, taking a wider, a wider 2 Shanten that will get you an actual decent weight in the end, instead of basically committing yourself to waiting on the 7 mon at some point. Unless you just happen to draw it, that would be very nice. A 4 mon. Oh, dropping the 6 there. Yeah, holding on to this Penchan, I think that's a bit of a mistake in this situation. I guess. Oh, waiting on the. Actually, did end up with a wait on the 7 mon. Oh, and look, Yuki has 3 of those. I actually didn't realize that Yuki had 3 7 mon in his hand, and Don Lapa has the other one, and I don't think there's any of those are coming out.
Yeah, I definitely don't expect Yuki to discard a 7 mon.
I think
If it's gonna come from anywhere, it's gonna come from Don Lappa.
I could imagine the only way I could imagine Don Lapa dropping it is if he draws another 6 mon, then maybe the 7 mon would come out. Otherwise, it doesn't really seem like it makes any sense.
Yeah, and Legis here has Tanyao, and that's all. Ricci Tanyao. A nice
Uh,
3-on weight on the 2-peen and 5-peen, but
those 8 so could be Uradora. You never know.
this is true.
There's still seven so unaccounted for. And
When you say it like that, it sounds like you're making a claim that there are precisely 7 so that have not been counted.
maybe that is what I'm saying. Oh, there's one of them. We can actually see 3 of them now, so not seeming too likely.
I mean, but what about the 3 so? They've also got a triple of 3s.
Oh yeah, where's the 2? I see 1, 2,
I also
2,
see 3 of
3.
those.
Oh yeah, I feel like if from our perspective, if we can't see, at this point, if we can't see many of a tile, that makes it very likely to be the Uradora indicator.
And Yuki over there, entire hand red. Like this is kind of a defensive nightmare that Yuki has landed himself in.
All right, and no Ura at all. Oh well, it was the 1 so. Oh well, I don't see anyone so. Probably there were, and I just wasn't seeing it. Going into East 3.
And Legis is on the right path here. Legis is doing what Legis needed to do.
Oh yeah.
Is not big wins, but getting consecutive wins. And getting consecutive wins leading into your dealership always feels good.
Yeah, Legis is a little bit behind Don Lapa, right? So it needs to make a little bit more ground.
Is 5 points behind Don Lapa specifically.
Okay. That's not too bad. I thought it was more than that. But yeah, they both still in this, especially Legis doing well this game. Although I mean, it's only East 3, but this is Legis' dealership. Maybe we'll stay here for a while. Watch those points gradually stack up. Having 4 pairs.
Yuki also has 4 pairs, including Paradora.
Oh, I wonder, is Lee just going to be too scared to commit to Chitoy? I wonder. We'll see. Cynthia opening up. It's so scary playing against Cynthia, and when she opens up and like wondering, like, is this a Yakula's hand or is it a hand that's going to become a Baimon or something? Because
they're almost equally likely, it seems.
Because yeah, you just don't know, and the tempted and you have to kind of just say, well, I'm just gonna ignore it and I'm gonna take my chances, because you can't be playing defensive every single hand against that. So it's kind of difficult to deal with.
The discard of the Chun is very interesting to me there.
Yeah.
I feel like the Chun is particularly dangerous. Like, and I mean, they had 2 of them, so I really don't understand the Chun discard. There's no Nagashi. Yeah, I mean, you can't see any of the Dora. Yuki has called the inexplicable North. Yuina has called 2 different triples, and there were no Chun in the discards. So like, that Chun, that discarding that pair of Chun really baffles me here.
Right. Maybe thinking about trying to get like simple as Pinpu or something like that. Seems really far from it, but
so many Kanchans. Like Pinfu, I mean, could get Tanyao maybe, but
yeah. Maybe was thinking Nagashi. Is so, but it's. I mean, there's no way to get Nagashi.
Right, it's not a legal way to gain points in this tournament. And and here discarding the 2 so instead of the 8 mon again. I don't think that's I do not think that is a choice headed towards victory. Don Lapa now Tempai Dama waiting on the 4 mon and 1 mon. That is Pinfu, so it is winnable.
Oh, got this.
Yuina considering calling Chi.
So what's the issue with dropping the 2 so there? That doesn't help very much, does it? Oh, is he gonna drop this west?
Yeah, the West is a troublesome draw at this point in the game.
Yeah, keeping that. Yuki would very much like to get that. Oh, and that was a. I didn't realize Don Lapa was in Tenpai. On it.
Yeah,
Oh.
I did announce it.
Yeah, somehow I missed that, but oh, that is nuts though. Don Lapa being on in Dama on Pinpu, like I feel like Don Lapa really needed to reach that because at this point in the tournament, like he needs all the points he can get.
I think that's exactly why Don Lapa shouldn't reach you that. I mean, Don Lapa only had one terminal in hand.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when you are kind of in desperate need of points and everyone's still close here at the beginning, waiting for that one extra Han that you could get by drawing a 6,
Right.
would be good. The main and the main fear being you have 2 players who have called multiple times that you're
Right.
you're kind of unsure about.
Yeah, I suppose so. I think I'd still just hit Rishi.
Yeah, I think it's a perfectly reasonable Ricci. I am not disagreeing that Ricci would be a reasonable thing to do there. I'm just trying to reason out why Damo is also
yeah. Going for the Menton pin or the simples Ricci pin fu to try and get up to Mangan or something. Absolutely makes sense.
Turn 3 Yuki is Ishanten for Pure.
Yep, and now may end up waiting on the chin here. Full straight if he draws the 4-pin.
Again, this upgrade to Honitsu, like it's fine. It's fine. I'm just not really a fan. Like, had a really nice Ishanten for a really good like hand that you could reach or even opening on the Haku.
Well, to be fair, like the Itsu on open hand is only worth 1 Han. The Honitsu combined with the Itsu raises this to a month. Like he could get 12k points here, which would kind of secure his position in the semifinals at that point if he actually gets that. So I think it's a reasonable risk to take.
Yeah, I suppose. I'll give you that. I don't think like let's see what tile do you really want to draw here? Probably a Chun.
Right. Well, I think the 4 I definitely would like the 4 more than anything else. Assuming that you don't get that though, like
but the 4 gives you a horrible weight.
A weight on the chin? Well, yeah. But you could once you get the 4, you could get the 4, and what happens if you drop the Chun at that point? You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. So you'd be waiting on the 3, 6, right?
Yes. So you might lose your Itsu.
But regardless, it'd still be 3 Han, 3 Han and 30 Fu would still be a good score as dealer. So that'd be fine.
Yeah, I guess my point is like could have already been Tenpai. Like would have been Tenpai this entire time.
Right. For that would be for a 2 Han hand though, right?
Yeah, but who cares? You're not Tenpai yet. This is the point I'm trying to make. People are always going for Honitsu to get that 2 extra Han, thinking that it's going to be fast, and then this happens. Like it's 7 tiles later, we're still not Tenpai, and someone else has been able to get an expensive hand to Tenpai instead. Right. Like Yuina has snatched this hand away when you could have won it 6 tiles ago. Like this is what I'm saying about Honitsu being an overrated Yaku. Like,
yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, like very situational.
And I am a little bit more passionate about this than I should be because I play a lot of Sanma. Sanma being the main place I play, and I think Honitsu is slightly better in Sanma because there's only 2 suits, but even there, people go for Honitsu way too frequently. And this is a problem that I've noticed for a long time that just kind of rubs me the wrong way. And I don't know, maybe the 6 people watching this, or maybe the 5 people watching this who aren't me, they may disagree with that, or maybe they get something from that. I don't know, but these are strong opinions that I have.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely like I do feel like it's arguable in what Yuki was doing. Like it's definitely taking a gamble on and putting value over efficiency significantly. Going for like a 3 or 4 Han hand over a 2 Han hand, or 1 or a 2 Han hand, I should say, because he wouldn't have gotten full straight there no matter what. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think what he did was, I'd say what he did was reasonable compared to what like some people go for some really bonkers stuff with Honitsu. Like if Kenny is watching this, we're talking straight at you.
I think, Kenny agreed with me. I think.
Oh, did he?
Which is it's rare. It's rare for Kenny and I to agree at all. So this is it's really something when we agree.
Yeah, that's amazing because I would have felt like if anyone, Kenny would have been on board with that Honitsu there. But yeah.
But anyway, we're on
Right.
we're on a new hand, and there is Chanta happening.
Mhm.
Sanshoku Doku. This is what this hand is. Dunlap is gonna get freaking Sanshoku Doku. It's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
happen.
All right.
Sanshoku Doku Chanta.
But look at Yuki's hand. He's oh, and Legis in Tenpai. It's hard to look at everybody's hand at once.
I swear Legis is always in Tenpai.
Yeah. Oh. Amazing. Ishan 10 for Sanshoku Doko. And Tenpai. Waiting on the 7 pin. I'm sure it'll come out. Trying to get that 7 pin. And
well, this is not Tenpai for Sanshoku Doku though.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm done. For some reason I was thinking it was.
Oh, this really sucks for Don Lappa because if the 1 peen comes out, you have to call it, and then you have to discard the 8 peen. Like
the 8
the 8 peen is the natural discard. But there it is. The 7 peen's there. Good.
Yeah, just gonna take that Chanta. Because he's a coward, not going for the Sanshoku Doko.
I mean, but the Sanshoku Doku would have lost because that 8 peen deals in.
But he's still a coward for not doing it.
Oh, look at that hand. That hand could have been worth so much. Two for Sanshoku Doku, 2 for Toy Toy, 2 for Honroto, 1 for the White Dragon.
Sanshoku Doku, known to be the most valuable Yaku that there is. For the amount of effort that goes into getting it.
Jesus, that would have been a dealer Paimon that we'll never see. That never could have been. It was literally.
Yeah, that wasn't happening. Oh well.
But 1 is now in first.
Oh yeah, I got that first. Yeah, so Donlapa, it's only South 1. Donlapa has a chance to get a 60K win here and make it into the semis right now.
We've been talking a lot about Don Lappa and Legis' situation in the tournament as a whole because they need kind of substantial wins to really get anywhere. However, I mean, the most kind of interesting person point-wise, again, is Yuina, who is currently 9th. Who is out and is like 30 points behind 8. So Yuina really can't afford to even come in 3rd here. Like Yuina needs a top 2 spot in this game if she wants a reasonable shot at semis.
Right. So yeah, and yeah, anything can happen at this point too. Like it's basically a tie game right now. So like it can go any which way. And the least interesting person here is Yuki because he like will have to do a lot to pull off a loss here in terms of getting out of semis. No, the other three people are kind of in a knife fight to the death.
And we've got battling Honitsus here.
Yeah, and
it's like they heard me make that one freaking complaint about Honitsu, and now they're gonna go for Honitsu every hand just out of spite. Like,
and I'm kind of like hypnotized. What does Yuki have here? 3 3 5 5 6 7 7 7 9 9. Very weird shapes of the Montiles there. From the side, they look even weirder. But it one away from like a toy that can call on a couple different tiles. So yeah, Yuki could get a pretty decent score here if he goes with the Toy.
And Donlapa is one away from the pure straight.
Oh, is he? Pure straight Honitsu with the South. Should just be Mangan.
Yep.
Only a dealer Mangan.
Only a dealer Mangan.
But yeah, I feel like I'm just skeptical about picking up that Tuso, and it looks like Donlapa is as well. It's going for a weight on the 2-5.
Oh,
He's got all the fives.
Oh man, this is a bully weight right here. I mean, the other 5 is already in the discard, so it's kind of less of a bully weight. But it's so satisfying to call that pawn and then wait on the tile you just pawned. Like,
yeah, unfortunately, it was not to be. Oh, and he didn't go for the Toy. He went for the Honitsu. Smart move.
Yeah, Yuki had an absolutely incredible weight there. Could win on the 3-mon, the 4-mon, or the 7-mon. So a very nice wide weight for that Honitsu.
Okay, let me move behind Cynthia here. What do we got here? It's a nice looking hand. Oh, are we going to see a Shosangen or something? Probably not. But we could. We don't see. We only see one other Haku and Hatsu over there.
No, we're gonna see another freaking Honitsu because that's what everyone goes for.
Well, to be fair, this hand looks very Honitsu.
I mean, it looks very Honitsu, but you're thinking about those 3 isolated honor tiles, and we have like only 4 mon. I don't know.
Right. If you draw even one of those honor tiles, though, the North, the Haku, or the Hatsu, it becomes extremely close to a Honitsu hand.
Yeah, and drawing another mon, like this is not like a horrible. This is not a horrible Honitsu to go for. I'm just salty now.
Yeah. For Honitsu, you want to have like four good shapes, and Cynthia's got at least that.
Well, it is interesting though. There's a ton of mon tiles in everybody's hand already.
Yeah. But I mean, not relative to the total amount that are possible to get. So I'm sure that Cynthia will pull this together. Although, let's see.
No one else's hands are particularly fast. There's plenty of time to piece together an expensive hand here.
Right. Oh, an open con on the chin. That that to me feels like a pretty bad thing to do. With the possibility lingering in your mind that you might draw a Haku or a Hatsu, a pair, and pawn that, and then be waiting on the last one for Shosangen. But once you con one of them, it kind of like throws that plan out the window.
To be a little fair here, 2 of the Hatsu were already discarded.
Are they? Oh yeah. I didn't see those actually. Yeah, that's fair. At that point, you can kind of give up on that.
But
well, calling the con in Cynthia's position, that kind of makes sense as well. Like, I mean, she needs points, and
the Dora would be good. My main concern for Cynthia is look at that first row of discards.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are all. I mean, you could not have a more obvious set of Mon Honitsu discards,
right?
And by keeping the tunes concealed, you let your opponents fear it being a Chinitsu, being a full flush,
right?
And conceal how close to Tenpai you are,
right?
Which I think would have been more valuable than a low chance of getting more Dora.
Right. Yeah. Oh shit. That was. I think we can both agree that was not the best con to go for. The con out of Tenpai. Oh boy. Oh,
yeah. Well. Insta cons the very needed 7-mon.
That is, yeah. I think that Cynthia may be regretting that con there now. Oh well, what can you do? It's too late. You can't sneak it back into your hand like you could in Auto Table, like I would do.
just keep calling cons, keep revealing Dora, just like always on the 7-mon. How many cons can I get out of this one tile?
Hey, so far people have always caught me when I try to do stuff like that. It just doesn't work out. Oh well, the four mon might come out. We'll see. It's a bit late. It's a bit late to be completing this hand now. That's so bad. That is a Hall of Famer con right there.
Oh man, I'm gonna wake up in the middle of the night thinking about you like calling multiple cons with one tile. Like this is my new truth that I'm sitting in. Oh yeah, and not getting the tempai. So lost the dealer turn.
Yeah, that's terrible. Yeah.
Desperately needed that dealer turn.
Yeah, it's painful. But I mean, it's South 3. Anything can happen.
Yes, is by no means by no means did that like kill her chances at moving forward. But
Right.
whew, all right.
Yeah,
I feel like
basically.
this has been a very spirited commentary that we've done here.
Basically, anybody can get a Mongon right now and basically like put themselves in first. So there's by no means is there like basically the game is still tied for all intents and purposes. Well, actually, I guess Cynthia couldn't do that unless it was a direct hit on Don Lappa.
A direct hit on Don Lappa would put Uina exactly 100 points in first because of the Honda.
Oh, hold on. Is it really that? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like I don't know. My math is pretty sketchy. It seemed like it would be easier.
That's why it's important. That's why it's important to have two mathematicians on every mahjong call.
Yeah, to add and subtract 8,000 points is really necessary to get two math people involved, or one person with a calculator. Either way.
Two math people or one person with a calculator. That's a good comparison here. Let's see.
Yuki's hand looks very interesting. It's a very interesting Ishan 10 over there. Oh no, it was a tenpai. What am I saying? I say it's an Ishan 10 right when I was acting as if like it was his turn. Anyway.
Concealed Chanta Hatsu.
Okay. Wow. We got another Yakuhai Dora here. We only see one of them. That's interesting. I wonder if all of them are in the wall. Okay. Oh, Del Napa gets a nice draw there. Hmm. Yeah, Yuki. It's got a pretty nice simples looking hand here. I wonder if we'll try and keep this closed maybe. Because as soon as he opens it, it loses all value. Anui, are you still there?
Yes,
Okay. Okay, I was worried that you may have dropped from the call or something.
I left in a huff.
You're just furious about my my commentary on the Chanta not being
Just
in Tempai.
God, just like I couldn't take it. I was like, how can you miss that obvious Chanta that Yuki was just sitting on Dama over there?
Oh, look at that draw. Pretty excellent. Gonna drop the south now, or hold on to it as what is Yuki thinking about here? Keeping the south is what he was thinking about.
Probably thinking about very soft kittens. If I know Yuki, I think Yuki is thinking about soft kittens right now.
Hmm. Now drops the south.
I mean, Don Lappa's hand is just absolutely gorgeous. I love the hand that Don Lappa has right now.
Oh yeah, having that Saminchan.
Yeah, Asan Minchon and the 2-3-3-4-5-5. I love that shape. That is a shape that I want in all of my hands. So versatile. You can get not only does it accept a lot, but it also can go towards a lot of different Yaku.
Right, and yeah, I would expect it just becomes a or ideally it would become Entam Pin and reach Mangan. You get just that 40K win, 43K.
And Yuki electing to take the Shenpon weight instead of the Kanchan weight. So the waiting on the 5-so with the 4-6 in hand would have allowed Yuki to upgrade to a possible Rhiannon, drawing the 3-so or 7-so, but instead elected to take the Shenpon and then ends up. Oh, Yuina is once again in a Yaku's open hand.
Yeah, and I think she may not have understood why that was not. I've been confused about something. There was because I was thinking about that pawn for a long time, and that just a quick end there.
But Tanya, that 1,000 points, that's enough to put Dunlapa in first.
Yeah, that 1,000 points was worth like 20 extra points, right? Or
because
10 extra points.
Because it tied Yuki, and since Dunlapa was first in seat order,
all
right, gets the tiebreaker.
Yeah, so that puts Dunlapa in a pretty reasonable situation. I think it's a lot less reasonable for Legis now. Legis will have to pull out a big win here if he wants us to get into the semifinals. But Dunlapa,
Legis needs over 70K.
Right. Dunlapa probably needs a good performance, but has a good shot with just a regular game getting in there, not anything crazy.
So to give the points as they stand now, Yuki has moved up to third. So we should keep in mind as we talk about placement here that this is the first group to play their games.
Right.
2 more groups play tomorrow, and then the final group will play on Sunday.
Right.
But this is the first group to play their games, so a lot can change after the fact.
Right.
But as things currently stand, Yuki is now climbed all the way up to third. Is currently 40-ish points out of first, so a good first place if first and second don't gain points this week would get Yuki into first place going into semis, although that's not a huge deal.
Right.
But it might be something that Yuki thinks about if there's a chance for a 10 repeat.
Right.
And then the rest of the gang here is in trouble. Legis is at -51, needs at least 70K to get into 8th place with where the points currently stand. Yuina is at -46 points, so needs at least 65K to get into 8th place with the points as they currently stand. Dunlapa definitely has the most mobility here. The person with the most power over their situation. Dunlapa has -16 points, which puts them 21 points out of 8th place. And it should be noted that of the top 8, the only person who is currently at this table is Yuki. So 7 of those 8 people have yet to play.
Right.
And
and
3 of them are in group 2. 3 of them are in group 2, 2 in group 4, 2 in group 1. So it'd be very easy for a couple people who are currently above 0 points to fall below. So even if Dunlapa is not able to get to 8th place here, if Dunlapa can get close, still might be able to make semis based on how the rest of the groups shake out.
Yeah, and kind of like conversely, like if Dunlapa doesn't do well here, and if no one does well here, then that's kind of better for everyone outside of this group in terms of the floor for what counts as making the semifinals.
Oh yes, everybody who is not in this group should absolutely be cheering. So okay, there's a small dichotomy to make. Everybody who is not fighting for the top position going into semis should be cheering for Yuki to just dominate. Whereas the people in first and second really don't want an upstart kind of coming in on their spot, because there's I think there's going to be a big difference between. I'm going to pause the game. A pause has been requested.
Oh, okay. So we can expect that a few minutes from now.
But yeah, there might be some jostling at the top of the standings. I am going to focus my brain on Discord here, so that I can keep track of this pause.
Yeah, I assume someone just lost internet or something. And we got some dueling Hatsu here. Don Lappa getting a lot of honor tiles, but doesn't have a Yaku from it, and doesn't seem to be going Honitsu, which we can be glad to see.
We've seen a lot of locked up honors tonight.
Mm-hmm. But I think that Don Lappa is actually Shanten, but with a baddie Shanten that might end up waiting on the 7 Mon. We'll see. Maybe he'll get rid of that Penchon at some point, or maybe we'll just end up with that bad weight. And also Yuki also having that 8-9. But I wonder what Yuki will go for here. It's got a lot of pairs, a lot of pins. So could just decide, like, that's a situation where I feel like you can, depending on what you draw, you might decide to switch over into Honitsu or something because you have so much ability to call things.
There's so much ability to call things and such horrible shapes. Like I mean, a 1-3 so and an 8-9 mon.
Right. Like if Yuki drew another East, and especially if the 7 mon started dying out and stuff like that, like may just decide to go for whatever has a possibility of completing.
Don Lappa is Atazuki. So we talked about Atazuki earlier.
Right. Can only win on that Hatsu, which probably not coming out. Although Lee just did do that earlier. So maybe Lee just will drop that Hatsu at some point. It could happen.
Con.
Oh, and Don Lappa doing a con while in this state. Could also pick up a Dora, potentially. But yeah.
Flipped the 6 so, which doesn't significantly help anybody. Both Regis and Yuina had 1 in hand, but Yuina's a little far away from Tenpai. And Regis also not particularly close to Tenpai, although I'm sure is perfectly happy to.
And it looks like Yuki spent a good long time thinking about making that pawn on the 8-pin. So I think he was thinking about that thing we were thinking about earlier, which is opening up for a flush hand. It's a bit late.
I think the main reason Yuki didn't was not abandoning the idea of getting flush, as we see Yuki, I mean, discarding the pinch on 8-9 mon here, but mostly that isolated 7 wouldn't have a lot of value with the call on the 8-pin.
Right.
This is much more flexible with those 2 8-pin in hand.
Yeah, if he had a chance to chi that 7-8-9, that'd be a different story.
Yes, and pawning the 1-pin, I think, is entirely expected as well. Although is at least 2 Shanten. So
right. Well, so if he draws the East, yeah, that FDI got that extra 9 there. Yeah, he could pawn the last 9 there, and put the weight on the 8. This is a bit of an awkward shape here. And there's only a couple tiles left. Maybe Yuki can get into Tenpai here, but I think if I was in his position, the thought of winning would have left my mind already. And so I think definitely looks like we're just going to exhaustive here, unless Lee just suddenly decides to drop one of those Hatsu out of nowhere.
I mean, or if Don Lappa decides to drop a Hatsu.
Oh right, yeah, that could happen too.
Either one. They are both in Tenpai. They are both Atazuki, waiting on the Hatsu.
So now Yuki has a chance to try and get into Tenpai. Oh, Chi.
I mean, get closer. Yeah, I feel like the Chi is the best option. Then you're left with 8-9-9-9. Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess, doing a pawn there would leave you with an extra 8. Oh, now we see the pause. Pause right at the end of this exciting game. Yeah, I guess, if he'd done a pawn there, would have been left with a 7-8-8-9, which is a little bit weird. And like I was saying, he may end up with a terrible weight on the 8-pin, but it would still be a weight. And I guess but regardless, he can get the same thing now. Chi the 3-4 there, or pick up an East, and just end up with Tenpai. Well, wait, if he picks up an East, that would work. Yeah, that'd be fine.
Because that would be the pair.
Yeah. Just confusing myself with hypotheticals. Where are the East? I don't see any East. There's one. So I guess there's like a couple East in the dead wall.
There's only one. There's only one in the wall because one is in North's discard pile and one is in South's discard pile.
Okay. Oh yeah. I didn't see it there. Okay, I see it now. Well, the last one could be coming out in a second here too. Maybe Yuki will draw the last one and say
Yep.
fuck.
Legis in kind of an interesting position drew the Dora 6-0 and decided to abandon Tenpai instead of discarding it.
Yeah.
And then Yuina immediately discards it. Oh, Legis has got to be kicking themselves. Was able to maintain Tenpai through that though. Is Tenpai waiting on the 6-0, which is kind of funny.
Yep. That's fine. Get a few points there. Not good for Cynthia. Doesn't really matter though. And Owen got another Chitoi hand here. We haven't seen one. I don't think we've seen a single Chitoi yet in these games so far.
We have seen a Tenpai. We have seen a couple of Chitoi Tenpai, but no Chitoi has one yet.
Well, we'll see some during our game. That's for sure.
That game is going to be an abs. I wish we could stream commentate our own game. Like
we could go over the logs. That's a possibility. Leech's hand looks pretty nice here. Having that well, that's not a Sanmenchan. It's a pseudo Sanmenchan. No, it's just a complete shape of 6. Maybe he drew one of those just now. I thought it was a Sanmenchan. Anyway, it's a nice hand. That's all I have to say. And Yuki's still not getting any more pairs. I feel like if you're going for Chitoi, you kind of want to have 5 pairs at the end of the first row at least, and otherwise it just doesn't feel like it's happening.
Both Yuina and Yuki are just loaded with Mon tiles. And they're both very far away from Tenpai.
Yeah, I wouldn't think, because Yuina doesn't have has just those isolated honors, that makes it seem pretty unlikely to me. If Yuina even had a pair of honors there, that would make it seem a lot more likely, I think. That would give her those 4 shapes. But yeah, having just a bunch of random honor tiles makes it seem. But that's like the fact that like a single draw can totally change your goal, or what seems possible. And
Legis is waiting on the 6-0 and the 9-0.
Okay. Now it's interesting that Don Lapa threw away the possibility for a Itsu there.
That was it was Suji to the 4-0. It was That was a defensive discard there.
Right. Oh, and Yuki still pushing here? That 3 was Suji against the Ricci.
Yeah, I think Yuki might be doing a little bit of Mowashi here.
Yeah.
I mean, the West and the White Dragon were not safe, so
yeah, he's pretty far away. I doubt he's going to drop that 6, so I'd be surprised if he does. Maybe he will. Maybe wants to wait on that.
Call the 4-mon and then single wait on the 6-0.
Yeah, because I have a hard time imagining that he wants to drop it at this point. But we'll see. It definitely seems to be pushing a lot for this hand. Well, it is. It looks like a Honronto from the perspective of someone who can't see what tiles he has.
Yeah, that it is worth noting that we're seeing some good master level play from Yuki here. That Tuso
Mm,
was the first like push tile that Yuki played.
mhm,
The both the West and the Haku had
mm,
not been discarded yet,
mhm.
but
Oh, look
the
at
Haku
that.
actually had. That's not true. The West had not, but the West was live, but as an off wind.
Mhm,
Probably as safe as Suji.
right. I guess I'm just a little surprised to see this level of pushing for for what was previously a two-han toy hand and is now like Mangan, but that was only due to extreme draws.
Right.
You wouldn't expect to draw two Dora. So yeah, I'm a little bit like because before it seemed like this seems very different from like for instance going Dama on the three Han hand. It's a very different style. It seems like.
Yeah, I think it was I agree with you. I'm kind of surprised by this push when Yuki. I mean, Yuki's been playing fairly defensively all night.
Yeah, I guess this is something about Yuki that he's very unpredictable, and hard to hard to pin down exactly the way he's going to play. Oh, and Dunlapa having those two Yakuhai Dora could
Oh,
you could see it.
and is immediately going for Honitsu.
Well, I mean, he does need. I guess he doesn't. He's the one person who doesn't really like out of Cynthia, Legis, and Dunlapa. Dunlapa's the one who doesn't need like a Baimon or something here.
Right. I mean, just Dora Yakuhai would be enough. Now, I
Mhm.
will grant, like, was really close to Honitsu. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
This isn't a massive push, but even still, I would have tossed the North before I threw away the 7-9 so shape.
Hmm. Yeah, you could think of that as Sakigiri, I guess. Like,
I mean, you could if they were tiles that you ever expected to be dangerous, which you really don't.
well,
Not the 9 so.
oh yeah, the nine. So I think that's that seems fine to me though. Like, it's not like that's useful.
Well, it was. It was connected to the 7.
Oh, I guess. I guess Kanchan could be
It was
useful.
more useful than the North. I guess is what I'm saying. Like the moment I draw anything else, I'm getting rid of the 7-9. But I would have
Mhm.
gotten rid of the North first.
There is
Because
also one thing to consider is also what we're seeing here that so far the Chun has not come out. Um, it probably will. Well, I don't know. It really depends on who draws it and when.
well,
But
yeah, in large part, we have seen these players hoard Doriyaku over and over again. They just kind of hold on to them constantly.
right.
So
So something else to keep in mind is that the Honitsu is a Yaku. So if you end up with two Dora Yakuhai that you just can't get the third, you can always get Honitsu if you're going for that.
yeah, that is a huge advantage to Honitsu here. You are absolutely correct. Once again,
パンニャオ
Yuki chooses the Champone weight, and this time gets it. Did not get the Champone weight last time, got it this time.
Mhm. All right. Going into another repeat. Got three combo up
Yuki
there.
Yuki's in bully mode. I sensed this as soon as Yuki got within sniffing distance of first place for the qualifiers. I
Yeah.
just kind of was like, oh well, Yuki's gonna repeat 12
Yeah.
times.
And Don't Lapa can't feel good after that hand. That sucks when you get such a great starting hand. You have two Dora Yakuhai and all those Montiles, and then just it doesn't complete with nothing you can do about it. So, well, what can we say? It happens.
Yeah, Mahjong sucks. That's what we can say.
But Don't Lapa has a pretty good hand this time. A little bit of redundancy in there, but pretty nice shapes in terms of getting just a Pinfu hand.
I'm really curious to see how long Legis, Don Lappa, and Yuki hold on to these Dorachun. All right, Don Lappa abandoned the Dorachun the moment it was drawn. But even though the Dorachun was thrown away, both Yuki and Lee just held on to it.
Yeah.
Like if there's a time to throw away the Dorachun, it's right after someone discards it. Like
If I was Yuki, I might be thinking, well, I'll hold on to this Dorachin because I just don't want someone to get 3 of them, and I'll hold on to it the whole game. Fuck it.
it was just discarded. They're not.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
one
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
got
saying
the
as soon as someone discards it, yeah, it's going out of my hand. But yeah, I think that in some limited situations, it makes sense to hold on to it for the sake of choking. I think it's kind of well known that that kind of strategy is very rarely useful.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely if I had 45,000 points,
Mhm,
I think I would use that strategy.
mhm,
At 35K and East 1,
mhm.
repeat 3, I don't think.
Well, but keep in mind that we're not talking about East 1, we're talking about week 3, game 3. So, from that perspective, you could use
That's
that strategy.
yeah, I mean, but if we're gonna talk about the tournament as a whole, Yuki doesn't give a shit if anybody wins 8,000 points here. Like,
Sure, sure, sure. But I
Yuki
mean, but it still makes it like you could justify it that way.
no,
But
that's fair, that's fair. I will give you that.
is he gonna go for a Ricci here on the 7? So, um, well, hold on a second. Yeah, 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 that's what it is. um, just going to maybe just gonna drop that 6-8 entirely. We'll see.
Finally dropped the tune.
Oh, and the 7 came out, huh?
It always seems to do that.
Yeah.
The moment you decide to not to not call Ricci on your single weight.
Yeah, the
But
regret.
and then call okay, like this is where you've gotta know who you're playing. Are Legis, Don Lappa, and Uena paying attention to discards? Like, because if they are,
Mhm.
then you would see that Sumo Giri Ricci, and
Mhm.
all of a sudden you'd be like, "This is probably a single weight. It's probably a bad weight."
Right. I think that if it was me, I might get screwed up if that two if the dealer order was a little bit different than it was. The fact that the 7 so is strictly to the left of the 2 pin and in the discards makes it so I would never fall for that. Um, but it also depends on players might have this weird idea that like the 7 so being discarded recently makes it safer, which doesn't really have any basis in anything, but they might think that.
Absolutely.
I mean
And I think that's what Yuki's counting on. Like,
that does have a basis in something, but only if only if someone didn't just reach you.
only if someone didn't just Ricci, and even more importantly, Sumogiri Ricci. The Sumogiri Ricci, I would think, makes the 7 more dangerous.
Yeah. um yeah, and that's like I think when talking about Sumogiri and Tadashi, that starts to become very tricky because I kind of feel like the game the game might be more interesting if it showed the tiles in the game the way it does in logs and just showed if they were Sumogiri or Tadashi, so you don't have to watch. Because it's just like then it would just be a straightforward strategy as opposed to like an action game. If you know what I mean.
Right.
リーチツモ
Which for me is
So,
like so hard to be paying attention constantly that way and be like it's kind of like playing StarCraft or something. Like how good is your micro in terms of looking at your hand, looking at other people's hand, and so on.
yeah, it's a whole lot to keep track of.
But it certainly does take a lot of skill. It's just I feel like if it was more like it's more cerebral if it's the information is all given to you.
Then it becomes more of a perfect knowledge game, like
Right.
something like chess. Like,
Well, well, I don't know. I don't know if I because it's like it's not perfect. It's perfect knowledge of things that you already have been given. It's just whether or not it's like it becomes a combination memory game and observation game, like in the moment sort of thing.
it's an accessibility feature, is what you are proposing.
Well, not necessarily accessibility, just it's just a different way of doing it, like stressing different skills basically. Whereas having people watch Sumogiri, that takes a certain like level of focus.
Right, which is why I call it an accessibility skill, but that might just be because I'm currently teaching in like a school,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm immediately like, oh yeah, that would be on like a student's individual learning plan that they like have ADHD and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this is all beside the current point.
ち
Legis has a million Montiles and
Yeah.
just conned the fives. Okay, here's a pet. Let's talk about a couple more Hanitsu pet peeves. If you're making a Hanitsu, those fives are so valuable to you because you can
Yeah.
use them in so many different ways. Like
yeah, that's that yeah. I
this
mean,
was actually
even though you can see, yeah, even though you have 1, 2, 3, 3, and actually, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, like that does break up the hands. So it's hard to say that's not anything but strictly a mistake to do that con there. Not as bad as Cynthia doing the con out of Tenpai, which is just brutal. But yeah, you just have to watch out for that for cons just ruining your hand like that. Um, but regardless, I think Lee just still has a very good chance of pulling out just a regular Amangan flush here. Can't really get anything beyond that. Um, can't get any additional Yaku, I think.
yeah, not with red fives being taken out of the mix. Like
Yeah. And also, like that con doesn't contribute any food because it's automatically a mangan. So really, it kind of just limits. It also limits the possibilities for maybe getting like a full straight or something like that, which may be not too likely, but one of the only ways you could get past a mangan. I guess, yeah. Oh, dropping the 8, keeping the south.
I think the South could be a very good Tonki weight with the exactly one in the river.
But it also reduces the value to a two-han hand.
It does, but I mean, so many of the I mean, there's all 4 sevens are gone. All 4 sevens are gone, and all 4 sevens are gone. There's nothing else that needs to be said. All 4 sevens are gone.
つ
That 8 was useless.
But couldn't the 8 just as easily be a Tonki weight?
It could, but it's not. But it's a lot less likely to win.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess points are points. It's hard to give up on a mangan for a two-han, though. That's so much of a downgrade. It is East. I mean, it's early. It's East too. You can
Yeah. Oh,
afford to.
There were like 4 Honda as well.
Oh yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, I'm always missing the Honba. That's
That
another.
adds 1,200 points.
That's another accessibility issue. There should be a red alert blazing thing at the start of the game. There's 4 Honba. It goes brr, brr, like that. You know what I'm saying?
There's so many points on the table.
I
Go
have
open Tanyao, open Tanyao. It's time to be a cat.
Yeah, I have a lot of okay. So here's some accessibility. If one thing is the tiles should be gray or white depending on if it's Sumigiri or Tadashi. Also, there should be like a dancing alarm siren on the screen telling you that there's Homba and Rishi sticks constantly.
Just, Ichihime walks across your screen and just throws the Richie sticks at you. Like,
Yeah, I'd love that. That'd be great. Um. Okay. Yeah.
Don
Leash.
Lappa starting with a lot of middle tiles.
Oh yeah. Don Lapazan's looking pretty good. I was just looking at how bad Legis' hand is though, but
It's garbage.
you never know. Could just draw 2 West tiles and suddenly it becomes pretty good.
This is a hand where you go for Honitsu for no other reason than
Yeah.
you are not allowed to abort.
Yeah, and I think you hold on to those honor tiles, hoping to draw. Maybe you draw another Hatsu. Maybe you draw the East, and it suddenly becomes a hand that can win just due to having those Yakuhai you can call. Because that Shun may not come out, and regardless, you want those extra Yakuhai.
but I think is favoring a little bit more efficiency here. Is it has started getting rid of, has kept the 4 peen for a while, got rid of a couple.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm just saying, you value those more, but you don't keep them in favor of a middle tile, because that's like those middle tiles have gonzo efficiency.
Another pause. So in a few minutes we will see that.
Okay. Like the 4 pin there, that accepts like 4 tiles in order for it to reasonably be useful. That's a huge amount of tiles, and the worst thing you can get with that is a middle kanchan weight, like a 2-4 or a 4-6. That's a pretty good shape because of how like upgradable, like that one, the 2-4. That's not too bad of a shape. It's not a good shape.
But it's not too bad of a shape.
Yeah. It's not like if you look at the 1-mon, like something that's all the way on the edge, like a 1 or the 2, the shapes that it can become reasonably are not that good, and there's not that many tiles it accepts. So you get so much greater efficiency. Like throwing away an 8 or a 9 and keeping a Yakuhai instead, it makes a lot of sense, I think, because you often will end up with a shape you don't want anyway. So
yeah, and Yuki is Tenpai waiting on the 1 peen and the 4 peen, just to make sure that we are all clear on that.
Okay, the 1 pin and the 4 pin, yeah. Nice little wait there, trying to move the game along. Yeah, I guess maybe generally he's playing a bit more aggressively this game. Maybe he's kind of decided that he's already made it into the semis, just gonna have some fun.
I think this hand is the kind of hand I expect to see. Yuki's not a cat, but I do expect to see like fast 1-hon hands from Yuki.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it makes sense if you can get in a Tenpai early and end it. Like, there's a lot of value just to keep preventing other people from winning. So you'll see the very good players go for cheap hands all the time. In the correct situations. And Cynthia, is this where we're going to see the pause? Because it seems like Cynthia is maybe having internet issues here.
Yeah, but it's weird because it's not grayed out.
Yeah, it's not showing internet issues, but it seemed to be the case. I guess maybe just had something come up in real life. Maybe had to look away.
No, it is currently checking internet. Is where we're at. So something strange is going on connection wise.
Okay. All right. This is a nice hand anyway. Though it wasn't really hurt by that. Was hurt by that though. Oh boy, that was bad. That's too bad. That 5-mon discard. Oh well.
A painful discard of the 5-mon.
Yeah, I guess can't do anything about it sometimes.
Yeah, and I think that it not turning gray made it take a while to be
to be reported.
Although, I mean, I did pause it, right? Like,
oh, I heard a sound there. Yeah, I think at least like I don't think that Cynthia has too much of a chance of getting in the semis anyway. So maybe it's not too bad at least that this didn't like ruin someone's chances.
Okay, no, they said that it did pause, and they are now ready to go. So we just haven't gotten to the pause yet still.
Okay.
So I am now restoring the game.
Yeah. That's really, you hate to see that though, that those draws being so good and being ruined to the internet.
But, yeah, that 5-mon and that 6-mon would have been great.
Yeah. But what is? But Cynthia needed to get like a 70K game or something like that, right?
Yeah, 70 or 65. I
Okay.
think 65 for Uina and 70 for Regis.
Okay. So it's very unlikely that this will be the deciding factor in someone not making the semis. Those few discards.
Yeah, and Legis will be discarding either the 1 mon or the 3 mon for the Tonki weight, almost assuredly the 1 mon.
Right.
You know, not a Furiton Tonki weight usually isn't advisable.
Yeah, unless you are sort of going for a mystical approach, you could say.
And a mystical approach.
The occult.
Uh,
The
uh,
occult.
counting on the sun god. Yuki, I think, is folding.
Oh, holding this
Perhaps
early
might start folding.
could be going. I was gonna say could be going Junshan, but yeah, hard to imagine. Could be going for Honitsu.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare say those words.
It seems very
Don't
unlikely he's going for Honitsu. I'm like, that'd be crazy.
Don Lappa feels like the best choice for a challenger to Legis' Tenpai here.
Oh yeah. Don't lap his hand. Aside from that Penshan there, looking very nice.
I mean, really has 2 Penchons.
Yeah, has a pair of Penchons. But yeah, so it could even get could even get Sanshoku. Is 3 away from Sanshoku. So
You're always saying that kind of stuff.
well, I mean, so what are the chances that Don Lappa draws the 3 mon? Like, is that any less likely than drawing like a 7 and then being
7 and an 8 and a 9? Yes.
well?
The 3 mon is
Well,
obviously more likely to come in.
Well, if he draws a 7 pin or an 8 pin or a 9 pin, one of those 3 tiles, then he'll be 1 away from being a Tenpai for a Sanshoku. Or would he? I guess not. Like,
Would not be 1 away from. Does not currently have a pair. Is the main problem.
yeah,
But would
yeah.
be closer. Like, I'll give you that.
Yeah, this is just the. I feel like this is like that's a little bit crazy, but like you may as well be think like that is possible. If you draw a 7 pin, it's worth more than that 3 so, right? So you may as well keep the 7.
Yes. I had to look at the discards. I had to look at the discards, really think about it there.
He actually just discarded 7, so could have kept that.
Yeah, could have kept that 7 pin and discarded the 3 so. I think that would have been perfectly rational.
What if the next 2 draws are the 8 pin and the 9 pin? Then will you admit that I am great at Mahjong? That I am a genius.
If Don Lappa's next 2 draws are the 8 pin and the 9 pin, I will call you Sparkle Bill, the Eternal Master of Mahjong.
Okay, it's agreed. And if not, I'll go jump in the garbage bin.
I feel like are you going to stream yourself jumping into the garbage bin? Because I feel like that now needs to happen.
I don't know if I have a garbage bin big enough that I can jump into it. That's my excuse.
You need bigger. Wait. You live in California. Do they not get rid of your garbage for you there?
Yeah, I guess I could. It'd be a little bit like logistically difficult to stream myself jumping into the dumpster. Like I'd have to. The internet situation, the streaming it would be difficult part. Like I would need a complicated setup for that. But I think it is pretty unlikely that Don Lappa will draw the 8 pin just because Yuki has 2 of those already. Well, I mean, I guess we don't see any other ones, so I mean, it's not like it's particularly unlikely. That's like, well, now it is. But yeah, that's like a different. Like usually, the tiles that you can see are just the tiles in the discards, so maybe we kind of have to get used to having extra available information. Just because you can see 2 of a tile doesn't mean that it's like dead. Like it probably would be if you could see 2 in the discards.
Right, for sure. Um, yeah, I will be holding I will be holding you to jumping into that garbage bin though. So
Oh god, the things that I commit to when I'm not thinking about it. A bit crazy. Oh well.
what's Yuki got going on now? Like
I don't know
Yuki's in a
actually.
really weird position over there.
Well, you said that you thought he was folding, right?
Yeah, I thought he was folding. I in part got I let myself get misled by the tiles that have been called away.
Well, I guess we'll never know. Maybe Yuki will join us later and we can ask. Uh, well, I guess we can just ask, and we can't ask on stream because he can't come on stream. But maybe we can report back what the results
Well,
of that
Yuki
are.
also can't watch Twitch,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I
But I
mean
mean,
the
just
only way for Yuki to see these logs is for us to burn them onto 18 floppy disks and then mail them to
no, I
Madagascar,
can
where
put it on
Yuki
YouTube.
actually lives.
I can put it on YouTube for him.
No, the only way to do it is to burn it onto 18 floppy disks and then mail it to Madagascar. This is
And you know,
confirmed.
just because Yuki can't access Twitch doesn't mean that he can't come on stream though, because you could come on stream if even if you couldn't access Twitch, right? Like you could still be on this call.
Oh, that is
So
true. We are not talking on Twitch. You know what? I'll give you that one. Now it's my turn to jump into a garbage bin.
we could, yeah, we'll jump into a garbage bin simultaneously. It'll be great.
Holding hands and singing a tune. Okay, so everyone's hands, I don't know. I'm not particularly excited about any of them. I guess Uina's got some cool stuff going on.
ポン
Oh, and thanks Vanilla for the raid at some point in the past. I don't know when that was.
Wow, that was like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, I'm not looking at the chat at all because I have to like look. I have to pull it up. And what's going on here? Yeah, Cynthia's got a nice hand over there. I think Cynthia's got the advantage. Cynthia's gonna win everything.
Problem
Maybe not.
everybody's got so many freaking pairs. One
Yeah,
Legis has 3 pairs. Yuki now has fewer. Yuki had 3 pairs, but just
yeah.
Palm them.
It's because I'm here watching the game, just summoning the pairs. It does seem like in our tournaments there's an awful lot of pairs that show up.
Just lousy with pairs.
That's something that we could calculate. Are there an excessive number of pairs?
I don't listen. Combinatorics is my specialty in mathematics. Now, okay, that 6-peen discard.
Mm-hmm. Well, she could be going Chitoy. It's got 4 pairs.
Yeah, but has the 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6 already completed in Mon? I mean, would have discarding either the Forso or the 5-peen would have made Uina a perfect Ishante.
Oh,
全部ちょうだい
all right. Lee just getting a small hand.
Yeah, Yuki broke up the Apatsu.
Yeah, Yuki just bullying everybody as usual. He's gonna get. This is gonna. If he wins this game, that'll be first place for all 3 games, right? That's my memory.
No, Don Lappa got first in the last game.
Okay. Okay. Oh, right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. My bad. My bad. Yeah. We were. Yeah. That's very notable. I'm not sure why I thought Yuki won. Did Yuki get second last game?
Yes.
Okay. At least he didn't get fourth or something. I guess it was just my memory that Yuki did very well because he's just trying not to get fourth, basically. In terms of the well, I'm sure he's trying for more than that, but that's basically what he needs is to not get fourth multiple times. So relative to that, getting second is pretty excellent. And this hand he's got here in front of us is pretty nice. Maybe we'll gather some more points as dealer here. Some possibility of like a 6-7-8 Sanshoku or a 7-8-9. Oh, and actually getting closer to that here is now 2 away from that. So if he draws the 7 pin or the 9 pin, close to getting a closed Sanshoku, but no other value in the hand really, except for maybe Pinpu. Oh.
And was in sort of an awkward position to have to discard when that 4 pin was in hand. It's had two Ryanpan shapes. Had the 4-6-8 and the 1-3-5.
Right. I would think. Yeah, it would make sense. Yeah, getting rid of the 4 makes sense if he's considering the possibility of Sanshoku anyway.
I would be thinking less about Sanshoku and more about the Suji trap. I feel like the 4 Suji trap waiting for the 7 pin is slightly better than
Right.
5 waiting on the 2 with the 6 also in the discard.
Right.
Although two
maybe.
7s are already discarded. I didn't count this.
Yeah,
Two 7s are already discarded. I changed my mind.
Yeah, that does make it pretty sketchy to be waiting on 2 7s. But I mean, it was an early Ricci. Maybe Yuki is kind of thinking that they'll just. Well, I don't know. I'm a little skeptical that everyone's just gonna give up on their hands here. I think maybe this Ricci should have been. Do you think that Yuki should have holded off on this Ricci here?
Absolutely. I think Yuki has been doming hands left and right all game, and that this would be classic Dama, and did not take it.
Yeah, this is. I mean, I guess Ricci Book 1 would say to Ricci this because he's dealer, but it is very borderline because dealer with a bad weight on a Yakula's hand. You could certainly take a little bit of creative freedom here and decide to Dama.
All right. So Vanilla has said that Vanilla likes he likes the Ricci because there's 2 7p on the table. Which like again, I'm gonna point out these players are not gonna fold. So the Suji trap is less meaningful because of that. And the reason, like, and I'm getting I feel like I'm having to point this out to somebody arguing about Mahjong at least 3 times a week. But like the reason bad weights are bad are not just because you're unlikely to draw them, but it is also so much easier for someone to use them. It is so easy for someone to use 2 7. It is so easy for 2 people to each use 1 7p. It is so easy for them to be in the dead wall. Like Yuki got this sumo, but that's just nuts. Like there was absolutely no reason for
he used magic to get this. Yes.
Like it's incredibly unlikely. And I think you see sumos like that, and you say to yourself, "See." But I think in the long run, you're going to be let down by the tiles if you kind of expect something like that.
Lee just maybe having some trouble here. Was this a pause we did 5 minutes ago?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you're here to pause because I'd be having trouble managing this, I think. But yeah, that does seem that the 7 pin. I guess it's less likely to be used than. I guess this is actually a question that is kind of in my mind. Do you think that the 7 is more likely to be used, or the 4, 5, 6? Which of those would you think is more likely to be used in people's hands?
That is a really good question. I like 7s in my hand more than I typically like 4, 5s, and 6s. So I try and use them a lot, but I think it's hard to say overall.
Yeah, I think that may be because the logic there is that the 7 is better in terms of weights, right? In terms of your final weight.
Right.
The 4, 5, 6 has a little bit more acceptance in like unlike the second degree or something. But not really, just sort of. So basically, for all intents and purposes, the 7 is just as good efficiency wise. but it also could end up with a 6-9 weight. So people should probably prefer those more, but they might not. Um, so it's kind of like, yeah, it depends on the people you're playing with, I guess, whether or
and
not.
it depends on what's already in their hand as well. Like you have to have tile. An isolated 7 obviously is not incredibly useful.
Right. Right. But just you could, but just talking about it in a totally generalized way,
Yeah.
like that the person who wrote that RMS book, Hukumoto, I forget his name, just said directly that the 4 is worse than the 7 in terms of like a fish of what you want in your hand, and that and also the one guy, the Chitoy guy, whose name I also don't remember, says that you should drop 7s before you drop 4s because they're more likely to be used in people's hands. So that seems to be like the common wisdom, but I'm not sure if it's actually like true.
Yeah, I'm handling an issue on the back end here for a second. You don't. And Vanilla asked, "Would you discard the 6/8p if you think you can pick up better cards?" And the point is, you don't have to. You can just wait and draw the 5. Like you can wait and draw the 5. You can wait and draw the 4. Even the 9 would have been an upgrade there because then you're still waiting on the 7, but you'd have Senshoku. So
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Right. I mean, you could. I mean, and you could also just drop the 6/8 if you get a better third tile that you think you can build something on, or you draw like a Nobaton or something. You can get rid of the 6/8.
God, Yuki is just doing what freak. Yuki would have absolutely dominated this hand in the other 2 games. Like this is nuts. This is pure straight only.
Well, he cast a spell before the game began.
He got fucking Ipatsu. Like
12,000 points. Okay. Yeah. Well, anybody who wants a better shot at getting into semis can be grateful to Yuki for pushing everyone else out.
Yuki, I just don't understand.
But yeah, Don Lapa still has a very good chance here. If he gets second place here, that might be good enough. Depending on how what the final score is. But Don Lapa definitely still like plenty of chance to get into it. And that Yuki having a high score might even be helpful if he hits other people. This is besides Don Lapa. We'll see. I feel like Cynthia is basically out. She could get Yakumans, but hard to imagine Cynthia coming back and getting into the semifinals from here. We'll see. It's not over till it's over. And Yuki going for I keep on wanting to say he's going for Chitoy, but I imagine he isn't because he never does. I know he's got a 5-6-7 there too, and just drew a triple, so yeah, it's not happening. Okay, and what else? What else do we have going on here? Not too much. I guess Don Lapa's hand isn't bad. Not great, but could develop. Draw 7 long or something.
I totally expect Yuki to just bust everyone in this South one.
Yeah, we're only on 2 repeats, so we've still got a few. We still got a few more repeats to go. 8 or 9 more to go. 3, pretty useless. But he is in Ishan 10 here. Pretty bad Ishan 10, but he's just gonna draw the tile. He just draw the 8-pin, even though there's not many left. Oh, and draws a 9. Well, that's can't argue with that. It would be better if he wasn't just barely out of range of like a toy here. But that's a little bit better, Ishanten. Maybe get the third Dora. Can he get the third? Yeah, he could. He could get the third Dora potentially if it's not in the dead wall. 5, 6, 7. He actually is actually is pretty close to toy here now. Could call on to Ishanten, but it pretty bad tiles for it. But I wonder if he got a chance to call the Dora. Maybe Ishanten for toy with Dora, with 3 Dora. Kind of tempting.
Would be in kind of an interesting. Yeah, that would be a really interesting call. I feel like you'd have to let it go. Like
yeah, or the. Oh, he took the second one. But that 7 mon, it's really hard to get. Although there is some sort of like there is some Kabe situation here with the 7 mon. How many 6s can we see discarded? There's 1, 2, just 2, right?
now 3. Or wait, yeah, no, it wasn't discarded. It's in the third one is in someone's hands. Oh wait, no, it was discarded. Yeah.
Yeah, so someone might discard the 7 mon as one chance. It's actually really late for that. I didn't realize how late it is in the hand.
So a question that was asked in the chat was why Toy instead of Ipeco, and here actually I think Toy has an advantage over Ipeco just because to get Tenpai for Ipeco, you would need to end up getting the 9 pin or the 6 so anyway, and you only get the Ipeco on one of your ways. The Apeco was not there. It was 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8 in the Mon tiles.
Yeah, not too likely to complete. And the toy is pretty unlikely at the time that he started going for it because of all these simple tiles he's got. But it had a chance. Just needed those tiles to come out. And against these players are a bit like less defensive focused, I think. They may discard. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Legis was in a position there to definitely like deal in. I like the 2 deal in tiles were the 5 and the 8, and drew the 8 to complete the 7, 9, and
yeah. And he really like needs to make up a lot of points here, like a ridiculous number of points. So it's hard to argue with doing any kind of Ricci. I think that he can get because you never know. Maybe we'll just like randomly win on Under the River and get 3 Ura. Could happen. that's kind of thing he needs to happen. So may as well go for it. I feel like.
oh man, now I'm one. What's the first game tomorrow?
It's not that early. It's like what 13, 1400. Let me check.
Oh, 13:30.
That's our game, isn't it?
Oh shoot, you're right.
I think we have to be there.
But that's on Sunday.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, our game's on.
Oh,
wait.
okay. Yeah.
Our game is 1400 on Sunday.
Okay.
The other game is 13:30 on Saturday.
All right. Yeah, we got 2 games tomorrow.
I mean, shoot, that's still pretty early, Bill. You got to realize I've slept like less than 4 hours only on the 4, and I've only even used pillows half the days this week. It's been a horrible week.
Oh, that's too bad.
In Ennui's house, so
yeah, work should not be a thing that people do. I disagree with it.
It totally shouldn't be.
What is Yuki going for here? Going for a toy, huh?
It doesn't matter. Yuki's just got everything. Look at this. Like Yuki's Senpai, just waiting on the 3 mon already. Like,
but that's a Yakuza Senpai though.
Oh crap, those are ones. I thought those Onso were the green dragon, if I'm being entirely honest.
And now he's in Tenpai. Oh. I mean, well, he was in Tenpai before, too, if we want to be,
Now there's a Yaku.
Yeah. You can still be in Tenpai without a Yaku.
You keep taking the con.
Oh,
you
shit.
taking the con on the Forso. Like, why? Why would you do that? You're in first. You're just giving everyone else Dora. What's the purpose?
He's having fun. He's having a fun game.
That is what he's doing. That's you're 100% correct. Yuki is thinking of soft kittens and just clicking buttons. That's all he's doing right now.
I mean, he may have also been thinking that it is an extra draw.
It is, but an extra. Yeah, okay, it's fine. It's whatever.
I'll come up with whatever explanation I can think of, and it'll have to be good enough. I just have to do. Don Lapis hand look pretty nice.
The last hand does look pretty nice.
And Yuki as well.
Look, so now Don Lappa has a hand where I feel like we can really talk about Sanshoku.
And so does Yuki. Yuki's got 1, 2, 3 going on up there. Maybe open up for it. Oh, what is? Oh, is Cynthia having internet issues again? Oh, jeez. And
Yuina might have to go, just like not internet related, just like might have to bounce.
Oh, okay.
We were discussing it in the chat.
Okay.
So Yuina might just be out for the rest of this Hanchan.
All right. Well, that's too bad. This was the comeback round here.
Good draws, like the 1-3 to go with the 2, and then the every time Yuina's been disconnected at all has gotten incredible draws.
Oh boy, that's yeah.
Oh, is Don Laka Tenpai?
Oh jeez.
Waiting on the 2, so it is Yakulus.
Yeah.
It is waiting to upgrade, I suppose.
Yeah, but an upgrade that probably requires dropping the Dora, I feel like he may as well just reach you there.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Tuso is not a bad weight.
No, it's not horrible. Especially really early.
Mm-hmm. But he looks like he's going for Sanshoku, though. That makes sense too.
Yeah, but and you're dropping the Dora, but you are adding 2 Han to you're adding 2 extra Han because you're losing 1 Han with the Dora, but you're gaining Sanshoku and you're gaining Tanyao. So
right, and let's see, he's got 4-4. That 4-4 can't really be. Yeah, he's got an extra pair of those. That's fine. May as well just drop that 4 though.
Well, I mean, might as well drop the 4. Might as well drop the 7. Like,
yeah. Yeah, just spoiled for choice and useless tiles.
Yeah, because I mean, this way, by keeping the 4, you allow yourself to go towards Ipeko.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because then you can drop the 3, and then you get Ipeko and Pinfu. Now you would be first, but
Yuki, I think, has a better shot at. Well, what is this here? Is this hold on, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 2, 3. Yeah, that was Tenpai. So giving up on that, giving up on the Sanshoku. It's clearly he doesn't need that anyway.
And okay, Yuki calling Ricci on a Shanpon middle tile. Wait.
Yeah, I mean, have any of those been dropped? It is at least, I don't know.
I mean, they are live.
It could end up being kind of a tricky weight, I guess. A Shanpon weight like that in the middle. Because you can very easily get all kind of Suji stuff going on. Although, I mean, it's harder in the middle, of course, because they need 2 tiles to be dropped. Like, the 8 and the 2 needs to be dropped.
Right. Legis does have an isolated 5-mon in hand, so we'll see if that comes out.
Yeah, that not too surprising if that gets dropped. Oh, and they might come out right here. Probably drop the 7 instead. But we'll see. Yeah. And lead is still pretty far, though.
Wrong.
Oh.
単野を三色同順
Oh, you did get the Sanshoku. Superb. That's very good for Donlapa. Although I think that he needs to win at least one hand here, though.
Yeah, a low scoring second is not going to do Dunlapa a ton of good. Dunlapa will still be ninth, and therefore will still have a shot at semis. But I mean, at this point, would still be like,
yeah, this is barely even a positive score.
Yeah.
This would be like
Dunlapa is the dealer, so this would be the chance.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough though, with Yuki calling everything.
That was in part me hinting to get behind Dunlapa.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've been good for the rest of these games. I just missed at the very end here.
Yeah, I mean we have been recording for like 2.5 hours. Yuki now pushing hard for a quick Honitsu.
Yeah, Dunlapa has a shot to complete first though. It's gonna be rough, but he's got a shot, and he may as well push like mad here.
No reason not to.
Well, I guess you could argue that if he doesn't push that hard and just lets Yuki win and hit someone else, or even well, I guess if Yuki sumos, that would be bad. So that's another reason to push. So
I think Dunlapa has to push. Dealing in would kill Dunlapa's chances at semis, but I mean,
so would it sumo.
So would sumo, exactly.
But I mean, there's some reason to be somewhat cautious, not to push 100%, but definitely a lot of incentive to push. Oh, and that's an excellent draw. Now Zishan 10, right? Got that 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 6, 7. Yeah, very nice. And just draws into. Is he going to? He has to reach here, I think. Just need to get a bit of a buffer.
Yeah, I think you reach it. You don't want to miss any opportunity of a tile coming out, like.
Right, and this is a Shampoo weight, isn't it?
Yes.
I was thinking it was Pintu. So yeah, he doesn't really have any choice but to reach you here. Oh.
And Yuki's gonna push? Why would Yuki push here?
I
guess it doesn't have a ton of safe tiles, I suppose.
Oh, so that was actually very bad for Donlapa. I think Donlapa is going to have a rough time making semis. Needs the bar to be set pretty low to get in, but does still have a shot.
Incredibly low.
Because that's -5 and whoops, what am I doing? Sorry, I meant to look at the scores, at the logs. But that's going to be like -9 points almost. Well, no, more like -8, -8.1. So yeah, it's still possible. Like, it just needs if you and people like you and Jennifer and like people who are already in the lead do really well and push other people out, and the people who are already behind don't gain ground, then Dunlapa can easily make it into semis. It's just needs some specific stuff to happen.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, Dunlapa's sitting at -24.2. It's still in ninth, but it's at -24.2. So yeah, it's going to be a long road to hoe.
Yeah.
Oops. I messed up the scores here trying to type them in while talking about them.
Yeah, being in ninth does make it sound like it's very close, but yeah, it is going to be pretty tough. But yeah, it can happen. Let's not give up hope. Let's not dash people's dreams. We just need the person in eighth to be who's in eighth right now, actually.
The person in eighth is Kenny.
Oh. Well, Kenny is aggressive. Maybe Kenny will deal in And maybe I will do terribly and be pushed out. I would not be surprised if I get pushed down to like number 14 or something.
But the problem is, like, for everybody who goes down, someone must come up, right? Like,
Well,
so really,
maybe.
the only way this works is if the people already in the top 8 push out the other people in the top 8, which,
Right.
like,
That can like in the game that we're playing. If you push me out, then like I don't think there's anybody else. Is there anybody else in our group? Let me see.
Lynn.
We're in
Well,
group.
yeah, Lynn is below. Lynn's at -34. So
Okay, so if me and Len do badly, then that would automatically like push Dunlap up.
this is true.
So, but that would also need to happen in the other 2 games as well. So it is kind of unlike, but like that would be if that kind of thing happens, then that would make it so that Dunlap can win. But it is the case that like you would expect 0 points to be the cutoff if things kind of averaged out in some reasonable way. But if things are a little bit lopsidedly in favor of people having like high positive and negative scores, that encourage the point setting to be lower or or higher. I guess it could go either way, but it looks like it's trending towards lower.
Yeah, this is really funny. The last comment that I want to make here is that with that last game, Yuki ended up at 98.5 points,
Uh-huh.
which put Yuki exactly 0.5 points out of first.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yuki is in second by 0.5 first.
Dunlap telling us not to give him hope. There is hope, though. Keep your hope. Grasp onto it.
Bill is giving hope, and I am not. So we're kind of doing a good commentator, bad commentator here.
Yeah,
Anyway,
playing good commentary. Yeah, that's the standard thing to do. That's the standard way commentary works.
Right, good commentator, bad commentator. It's standard. One person is just a total dick. The other person supports everybody. This is how we do it.
Yeah.
And the person who supports everybody is a dick to the other commentator because you need a little bit of balance.
Yeah. I think we figured this out.
I think we've nailed it. I think tonight's stream was like we went off on some tangents tonight.
Yeah. Well, we're both high, so it's expected.
We're both high. I'm high on lack of sleep and lack of food.
Oh, Vanilla wanted me to show the official leader. I don't know if I can. If it's very easy for me to do that. Hold on. I guess I could do that. It's already on the. I'm already gonna post it anyway. But let me.
Yeah, it is currently posted in the Discord.
I can certainly just go there, and I can sort this if it wasn't already, so we can see what the points are. So Anui currently having 99 points in the front, and then Yuki, Jennifer, Miku, and then me, Perkoi, Toki, and Kenny, the top 8. Those are the current people who are qualified, I guess you could say. Not really, because most of us haven't played in week 3, but sort of hypothetically, that could be what it is. I expect Len, I think, has a very good shot at bursting up into the semis. I have a very good shot at going down to spot number 16. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's very interesting that our table is happening last because I really like all the matchups this week. I feel like our table is kind of the most bonkers of all the matchups.
Right.
Being me, you, Jennifer, and Lynn. I mean, that's kind of that is a table of nightmares. But we're the least interesting positionally because Jennifer and I are both like almost unassailable as far as like us dropping out would be nigh impossible. And so it's kind of just between you and Lynn, and a lot has to happen for either of you to get what you need.
Yeah, and we both need to be aggressive. Like Len probably needs to be more aggressive than me, like needing probably multiple wins. but if I get multiple losses, then I'll be kind of screwed over. So I need to be aggressive to avoid that, or to compensate for future losses. So yeah, I can't just be defensive. That wouldn't work probably. But you and Jennifer definitely can kind of rest on your laurels a bit to some extent.
Yeah, I mean, I need to show up to the games. Like we
Yeah.
can't just phone them in.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that's going to be it for the stream. Thanks everybody who showed up and watched. We'll do our best to stream more games. It's kind of tough with our schedules and everything, but especially for like that when it gets closer to the finals, and maybe we'll try and stream more of those games.
Although we might be in too many of them. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah,
No
yeah.
one can say.
For the sake of the streams, it'd probably be better if we both just immediately like go down to last place. But that might happen for me, but probably not for Anui. So it might just be me who's on stream if Anui is in every game.
But anyway, if we're gonna have a shot at streaming the morning game tomorrow, then I need to get to sleep.
All right, have a good rest then.
Later, y'all. It was a lot of fun, Bill. Thanks for having me on.
All right, thanks for commentating with me. So long. And I will also end the stream, like I said I was going to do a few minutes ago. So long, everybody.